to create a world fit for God. But every single one of you must learn that. And you can't learn that because I presumably know that. You can only learn that when you engage in the process I'm sharing with you that has worked an almost infinite number of times with every imaginable kind of human being in almost every country on our planet, in multiple languages. And given that, you begin to read. And you begin to read my book. And my book is The E-Myth Revisited: Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It. And of course, I've held this book up. Now my picture isn't showing. Loran, can you get me back to where I am? Can you see me, everybody? Okay, perfect. Can you see the book? Okay, perfect. Thank you. So that shows you out of sight, out of mind, out of mind, out of sight. Because I can't see me, I no longer exist. Did you get that? Because I can't see me, I no longer exist. And it never entered in my mind that you could see me when I couldn't. My goodness, what a world we live in. So how do we truly know who we are and move out of any one type and manage to truly dream? Do the work, Avigdor. That's how. Step by step by step by step. I didn't create it just to talk about it. I created for you to do it. And when you do it, when you literally do the assignment at the end of each and every video session, when you literally do that, someone in you is going to awake. You don't know that someone in you who's going to awake, but you're going to meet that someone in you as you awaken, and he or she is going to astonish you, because it's always a surprise what you discover within you in a way that you've never discovered it before, or provide you with language through which to describe what you see, what you feel, what you hear, what you discover you know. You got that? I certainly hope you got that. Let me see the next question. Marlene and Hendrik, can you explain a bit how I can engage deeper in the process of awakening the entrepreneur, getting clear about my dream? Yes, just persist. It works. You don't. Just persist. And persist and persist and persist. In short, don't quit. Persist in the process I've provided you. Because I know with absolute assurance, given the many, 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 many thousands upon thousands of testimonials I've received from readers of my books, the one that continues to ring true in my heart is, Michael, you've changed my life. Literally those words, exactly those words, repeated over and over and over again. And my response to those words are, no, you did. You see, Marlene, Hendrik, when you did the work, when you literally did what I proposed you should do, you took charge of your dream, your vision, your purpose, and your mission. And as you did that, something miraculous occurred. You described that. I didn't describe that. Every single one of you, when you describe that, simply say to me, Michael, I give you permission to publish what I just said, if you're so willing to. If any of you have picked up this book, you look at the front of that book, and there are dozens upon dozens upon dozens upon dozens of testimonials. The Dreaming Room experience was literally life-changing for us. Within months, we were able to start our foundation and make several television appearances owing to his teachings. He has an incredible charisma, which is priceless. But above all, Michael Gerber awakens passion from within, enabling you to take action with dramatic results starting today. And they're a lovely couple who effectively shared their heart with me, and I'm sharing it with you. And why am I sharing it with you? Because their heart is important. Because them saying it is important. Because you, John, when you say it, John, when you mean it, John, when you experience John, you're sharing John with everyone else by telling them what occurred to you in this very moment when that transformation came alive within you. But don't fake it. Hear me. I can see fakery a mile off. And I'm saying that you can too. Unfortunately, in this day and age of internet monoliths, there are so many fakers as to be unimaginable. Because in fact, what the internet has made possible is that everybody can say whatever they want to say to anyone. And suddenly you have to discriminate between one saying and another saying and another saying. But here you are, if you've got a computer, if you're on Facebook, oh my goodness, if you're on Facebook, you understand you're a target, and that target is simply rushing to you to tell you these most amazing things that you can do immediately. Hear me, that you can do immediately. That will immediately tell you it's not authentic, because you can't do anything immediately. Anything of any value whatsoever. Ever, 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 ever. Anna's a painter. Anna didn't learn how to paint immediately. Now, how do I know that? I know that because I'm a musician. I didn't learn how to play the saxophone immediately. It was crushingly painful. And my saxophone teacher was a horror, because he was one of the best saxophone teachers in the world. And he was old. And I was 11. You can imagine. You can just imagine. I drove by bus from Anaheim to Los Angeles every Saturday morning to have an hour session with my teacher. And it took him an hour to beat me up and to leave me in shatters to go home on a bus to Anaheim every Saturday. And I have no idea what caused me to persist at 11 years of age. But I was captured. I was captured by the sound the sound. I say the sound of music. How many of you familiar with Stan Getz, the great saxophone tenor player? I suggest you look up Stan Getz and you listen to Stan Getz play anything. And then you'll understand why I showed up every Saturday. I aspired to that sound. That sound mesmerized me. And there you go. I had the will, he had the way, and I persisted with that for a number of years until I became stupid. And when I say I became stupid, I associate coming stupid when I forget what inspired me and start thinking about it and become distracted. And as my distraction takes me, I lose my direction. Had this fascinating conversation with a gentleman who came to me. And he told me that he has 13 children. And he's been married for 30 years. And he showed me a picture of all his kids and his beautiful wife. You hear me, he's been married for 30 years and he has 13 beautiful children. And he said to me just the other day, and I had breakfast with him every morning. And we studied scripture. And yet he told me that as a boy, he went to a synagogue near his home and studied Torah. And he wasn't Jewish. Now that tells you something about this absolutely spectacular man. I had breakfast with my children and wife every morning. In this day and age, do you hear me? And so we'd be on a Zoom call and he'd go like this and one of his daughters would come over. I've never seen so many beautiful daughters all at once. It's just shocking. It's just shocking. And I said, no, come on, this is a stage play. You're putting this whole thing on. These are actresses. These aren't your kids. These couldn't be your kids. And yes, they are his kids. Absolutely extraordinary. How can you engage in the deeper process of awaiting the entrepreneur within, getting clearer about my dream? Just keep doing it. And it will keep speaking to you, speaking to you, speaking to you. And you'll say to Hendrik, I think I got it. I think I got it. I think I got it. And Hendrik said, but I think I got it. I think I got it. And then you're saying, my goodness, could we each have it? And could it each be different? My goodness, yes, it could be. So hear me, it's that influence of your intuition that is touched by a being that you have no clarity about. Hear me, I'm not speaking about religion, and I'm not speaking about religion. I'm speaking about divinity. And so the word divine has an astonishing timbre to it. Yes, at our age, John, hear me, at freaking 84. And people say to me, where do you get your passion? I get it wherever it comes from, but it's not coming from me. It's coming from the divine that is speaking to me in ways that I couldn't manufacture. even if I tried. It's not me. This is not my ego speaking. It's my soul speaking. And my soul is speaking to your soul. At least that's what I believe. So let me see who else has come aboard. Oh, here we go. Misty. When I went to the dreaming room, we talked about our musical performing experiences, your saxophone. Here you go. It's funny because I didn't read this and then I was talking about my saxophone, and that's how it happens. It's absolutely remarkable. Your saxophone and me playing concert piano, about the feeling, the joy of performing. We did not talk about business literally, but I have carried this with me without complete understanding. Today, I want to pivot my publishing company towards storytelling and how to use this to charge one's reality. It's much closer to the experience of playing concert piano. Yes. So understand when you said, Misty, the joy of performing, Misty, it wasn't the joy of performing, it was the joy of playing music. Hear me, the joy of performing is something completely other than the joy that comes to you from the music that comes from your fingers, from your heart, from your soul. That's where the joy is. That's where the dreaming room touched you. That's where my music touched you. That's where the spirit came alive between us. And so when you say, I want to pivot my publishing company towards storytelling, you're getting much closer to it. But hear me, it's about the story that arises within you and it writes. I've never written a story. It wrote itself. It absolutely infuriates my publisher because my publisher has a completely different idea of what the story should be. But the soul, the spirit that is inspired by the language that comes to me isn't interested in that. It's only interested in the truth that reveals itself in the language that comes to my fingertips, to the tip of my tongue, as I express it, as he expresses it, and it's expressed. And then I practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope that makes sense to you, Misty. Absolutely should when you get to the heart of your piano. Steve, I have a corporation that's being relaunched. However, it is not offering any products or services as of yet. I'll be launching online training courses in the near future. Should I still treat it like Old Co and follow the 2Co strategy? Or can I start it as New Co? You can do whatever you choose to do. It's either Old Co or it's New Co. It's either something that you've been doing or it's something that you hope to do. You can't make it up, meaning pretend that it's New Co if it's actually Old Co. So Steve, you know the answer to the question. I'm simply putting it in front of you in a way so you can say, oh, yeah, I knew that. Sorry, Michael. I hope it didn't piss you off. And Uday, I don't know if you pronounce your name right, Uday, but hear me. I'm getting to everybody. I'm not accustomed to this chat thing, so you just be patient with me as I work down. Uday, are you saying that a company without a dream, vision, purpose, and mission is not scalable, or that it's not worth pursuing? Yes. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Uday. That's what I'm saying. Yes, without a dream, without a vision, without a purpose, and without a mission, you're just sucking wind. You'll give birth to a dead business that may become very financially successful, but it will never provide you with more life, ever, 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 because it will be a superficial reality that is born to produce money and only money. And as everyone on this planet knows, that money, while necessary, is never rewarding in itself, ever, ever, except to the most shallow spirit on the planet. I'm not interested in the most shallow spirit on the planet. I'm not interested in Robin Murphy or Simon or Timothy or Uday or Mike or Yasser or Lionel or Anna or Melissa or John or Denver and all the rest of you. I'm not interested in your most superficial self. Anna says, I am an artist. I'm an artist, I dare you. Some people may be marketing my artwork, but I'll be having a lot of franchised stores. I plan to work with interior decorators at this point. Do you think this is something I should invest time in if I don't have franchised buildings? Anna, I'm not talking about franchised buildings. I'm not talking about literally McDonald's. I'm talking about essentially McDonald's. The idea underlying McDonald's. And so you may be a brick and mortar business. It may be a store. It may be a building. It may be an office. It may be whatever, but it's bricks and mortar, as the expression goes. Or you may be an online business, sans brick, sans mortar, which effectively, Anna, you're thinking about. Your product is your artwork, but it's not the original art. It's not the original painting. It's your replication of that original painting, I'm presuming, that others are going to sell. And those others who are going to sell those paintings are effectively selling something more than those paintings. They're selling, I'll say, the truth of Anna. Understand the spirit of Anna, the heart of Anna. Just like somebody is selling the spirit of Picasso, the heart of Picasso, the logic of Picasso, the brand of Picasso. In identically the same way, you're selling something other than just a painting. And so the dream, vision, purpose, and mission that is critical to this year of Radical You, the first year of Radical You, is for you to discover yourself. And for you to discover yourself as the dreamer, as the thinker, as the storyteller, as the leader. The dreamer has a dream. My dream is to transform the state of small business worldwide. And then I communicate what underlies the transformation of small business worldwide, and you begin to understand more about the creator within that dream. That I'm interested in creating simply financial success. I've never been interested in that. And it speaks to all the financial mistakes I've made. But I bless those financial mistakes because they were simply a product of this naivety that possessed me in being born within that dream. The dream came to me, I didn't go to it. And in discovering as a dream comes to me, we're here to transform the state of small business worldwide. We're here to invent the McDonald's of small business consulting services. We're here to make certain that every single small business owner who's attracted to our paradigm can be as successful as a McDonald's franchisee, or even as Walt Disney, for God's sakes, as he or she becomes a dreamer, a thinker, a storyteller, a visionary, a creator beyond belief, beyond the picture you have of yourself right now. Do you hear me? I'm not speaking to the one who you are right now. I'm speaking to the one you will become. If you have the will, I have the way. I can say that because I've been doing this for 43 freaking years. I've been doing this for 43 freaking years through every mistake anyone could ever make in a business. I've made every mistake every single small business owner has made, and I've survived every single one of them simply because I wouldn't quit. My wife says, Liz Delia says, it's because of my integrity. I made a promise, I'm going to keep it. I made a promise, I'm going to keep it. I made a promise, I'm going to keep it. I made a promise and I can keep it. And then I made a promise and I don't know how to keep it. I made a promise and I don't know how to keep it. I made a promise and I don't know how to keep it. Do you hear me? We're constantly in evolution. You and I are evolving into the person you are here to be. So Bert Bradford, you're here to become the Bert Bradford you are meant to become. You only discover that by doing the work. So you hear me, you got to do the work. So, Anna, I finished that sentence. You don't have to have franchise buildings. You already have a product. You already had a product, and that product has already proven itself to touch the imaginations of people. The problem is you haven't. The only problem is you haven't, because you thought the product speaks for itself. The product never speaks for itself. It needs a voice, and that's your voice. And so I'm saying to each and every one of you, nothing speaks for itself. It needs a voice. That's why you're here. Born in the image of God, born to create a world fit for God. And you may be completely disconnected from that. Completely disconnected from that. And I don't care. Because if you have the will, I have the way. And I know that Melissa is going to get it. Understand, one moment it's going to hit you between the eyes. Holy moly, that's what Gerber would say. But you understand it's got to happen inside of you. Do you hear me? Inside of you. So while this is not a personal dream, it's an impersonal dream. You have to discover it personally within you. You have to be moved. You have to be moved by the Spirit within you. It said that God lives in every one of us from the moment of our birth, before the moment of our birth. Whether you believe that or not, I don't care. But accept the possibility that that might be true. And if that is true, my God, I want to know that. You get to. Every single one of you get to. Robin Murphy, are you walking around again? My goodness, woman. You keep walking. Every single seat, I see you're here, and then you're there, and then you're going here, and then you're going there. It's astonishing. Woman never stands still. So you get it. I can see you. I can feel you. I can understand you, but you got to talk to me. We don't have much time. I'm taking a lot of time to say things that you may not think are important, but I can guarantee you the things that you think aren't important are the most important of all. And that's why I repeat them. Jake, you have opened my eyes. Joanne, so change is coming. Chris, what is the difference between the original E-Myth and the E-Myth Revisited? Sarah is the difference between the original E-Myth and the E-Myth Revisited. The E-Myth, the original book, there was no Sarah. In the E-Myth Revisited, I talked to Sarah and taught her what I'm teaching you. So to the degree you understand that Sarah is my client, just as you are my client, and Sarah's asking questions and experiencing frustrations that are real, every single one of you, they're real. A truck driver writes me and said, I'm Sarah, a truck driver. Everybody writes me and says, I'm Sarah. How did you know what I was thinking? How did you know what I was feeling? It's a separate question. How do I know? It's a gift. It's a gift from God. I've questioned it for years. I don't question it anymore. I just allow him to speak. Who? God? No. I just allow that to speak through me to you as you speak. Denver, would you stop shaking that thing in front of my face? It's driving me crazy. There you go. Yes, I can see you. So please understand, you're not invisible. You may be invisible the rest of the week, but you're not invisible here, unless you are. So let's see what else. Chris, we need to have a jam session. Chris, my wife keeps on asking me to play the saxophone. I stopped practicing a long time ago. And on occasion, I pick up my horn and I start playing. And the older I get, the less likely my horn is going to respond to me. And while my wife doesn't necessarily know that, I do. So you understand that I do, and because I do, would like, for example, Anna stops painting for about 10 years and starts painting again. And she suddenly says, holy shit, That isn't me. Who is that? You got to get your chops on it. So effectively, you got to get your chops on all of this. And that's why I say you got to do this every week. You got to do this every week. You got to go through Amethyst's session every week. You got to do your homework every week. You got to live it. You got to be it. You've got to love it. You've got to transmit it. And if you don't love it and you don't transmit it, do it anyway, because it's just coming to bear on you how sleepy you were. You follow me? This is called awakening the entrepreneur within. We have no idea how asleep we are, how absolutely asleep we are. I'm not accusing you of anything. Just hear me, but you are. And there you go. We need to have a jam session another time, Chris. David Carino, question about TwoCo. I'm working on Old Co right now. I run Facebook and Instagram ads for clients. Do I have to create a process in which I can hire talent that already knows how to do this? I certainly don't want to hire Harry the bookkeeper. I think that was his name from your book. The answer to your question is no, Jake. You don't have to hire somebody who knows how to do this. You have to hire somebody who doesn't know how to do this. Do you hear me? You have to, I'm speaking to every single one of you. You have to hire somebody who doesn't know how to do this, doesn't know how to sell it, doesn't know how to build it, doesn't know how to consult about it, doesn't know how to do the work that you're talking about that you do. Effectively, you're creating the system that's going to make it possible for them to master it. How? Your way. It's called my way. And you're essentially saying to every single one you're talking to, if you have the will, I have the way. I've spent 43 years developing my way. I've tested it and tested it and tested it and tested it in every circumstance in 145 countries, in over 30 languages. I've tested it in the smallest of the small with the largest of the large. I've tested it, refined it, re-engaged with it, just so I could be sitting here talking to you today. Now think about it. If I could do that, and if that exists within Radical You right now, and you can literally access that for $10 for the entire year, are you kidding me? You'd have to be an idiot not to do it. Please, I would never accuse anyone of being an idiot for not doing their homework. But yes, I will. My saxophone teacher did. He just beat me up unmercifully. He just said, do it. This is why I don't teach kids how to play the saxophone. He taught Benny Carter how to play the saxophone. To understand, he was Benny Carter's teacher. Look up the name Benny Carter, saxophonist. Look up the name Johnny Hodges, saxophonist. Look up the name Stan Getz, saxophonist. And you'll understand the kind of people my teacher taught. My alcoholic teacher. My old teacher who beat me up for an hour every Saturday morning. I was the only student of his of my age. And the only reason he agreed to teach me was because I was uncannily good at what I did. at 11. It was a gift. And one of his students was my first teacher. His name was Al Chesner in Newark, New Jersey. And Al wrote his teacher when I moved from New Jersey to Anaheim, California, and said, Merle, that was my teacher's name, Merle Johnston. Merle, you got to teach this kid. Just for me, you got to teach this kid. And so Merle said, oh my God. Okay, I will. And it goes from there and there and there, and I could give you countless stories, but I'm not going to. Robin, are you tired? Are you worn out, Robin? Just hold on. Hold on. We're almost done. So David says, I'm working on Old Co right now. I don't want to hire the bookkeeper. I think that's not that. Yeah. And so I got it. And so you got what I said. No, you want to hire people who don't know how to do it. Because what you're essentially creating is the turnkey system that's going to teach them how to do it. Your way, not their way, not any way, not everybody's way, but only one way, your way. And in the process of doing that, you're going to be teaching them something significantly more than just your way. You're going to be teaching them something that will open their heart, their mind, in a blank piece of paper and beginner's mind. You're teaching them two things simultaneously. You're creating creators. You got me? Some of them are going to leave you. Some of them are not going to get it. But of course, that's the price you pay. But some of them will. And someone will write you like some of my early students way back then in 1970s write me today to tell me they just got it. They now, for the first moment, understand what the hell they didn't understand then. I guess they had to go through all of that time to get that experience. So let me see what else we've got here. Jake, my old boss asked me if I was a franchise when I was cleaning his place. So I think I'm on the right track. You are an inspiration. Glad to be here. Thank you. Jake, I'm delighted you get it. And now forget it. And simply do the work in front of you. In short, do the work in front of you. Steve Boust, I have a corporation that's being relaunched. However, it's not offering any product. Can I start it as NewCo? And I already said to you, Steve, yes, you can. If you authentically believe it to be NewCo. But don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself just to pass go and make it easy for yourself. Don't lie to yourself. And especially when you do lie to yourself, catch it. And by being here with me, you will, I promise you, catch it if you stick with it. You got it? Matthew, Ray Kroc did not design McDonald's system, but his dream was to franchise it and transform the world. Does every entrepreneur have to know how to design the system that they use to realize their dream of transforming the world? Matthew, every entrepreneur will learn the lesson of how to design, build, launch, and grow what their heart is committed to designing, building, launching, and growing. You might, however, hire someone to design that system. But hear me, just like Walt Disney created Disney Imagineering to create Disney Imagineers, to create new processes, methods, products, services realities for his parks, Disneyland, Disney World, etc., and so forth. When an Imagineer finally got up the courage to go to Walt Disney and to lay out his great new idea, Walt Disney would invariably say, "Never bring me something I've seen before." And he'd dismiss them and say, "Go back and go to work again." Well, the obvious question an Imagineer has, how do I know what Walt's seen before? Only by daring to bring him something you believe he's never seen before, and then to be corrected in the process. And to be corrected in the process means to fail in the face of this great master who is giving you the time to reveal what you know and what you don't, and giving you the room to go back and correct it. So it's a process, an evolution. A company of one to a company of 1,000. A company of one to a company of 1,000. I'm going to pronounce your name Yemisi, and you might correct me. You can write that. This isn't a question. I'd just like to say thank you. The past couple of weeks have been eye-opening, and I catch myself knowing more about myself and business. What a lovely thing to say. What a lovely, lovely thing to say. Because that's exactly why you're here. You see, it raises a question, though. How does one learn more about oneself, about one's business? That's what Radical You is here to do. And you understand, I call it the Eightfold Path. You all understand that? Finger, thumb, whatever. The Eightfold Path: dream, vision, purpose, mission, job, practice, business, enterprise. The evolution of an enterprise from a company of one to a company of 1,000. And that is, I'm saying your name, Yemisi, and if I'm mispronouncing it, just forgive me. We have folks from all over the world, and I don't speak any language but the one I do. And I take the spelling literally, but it could be completely wrong. I do know Denver is Denver. I got that. There's absolutely no doubt in my feeble mind. Yemisi. Yemisi. Is that it? It's close. Yes. Write me in a chat, Yemisi, what country you're in, what city you're in, and what you do. And is the young woman who's also under your name your wife, your partner? Do you know who I'm talking about? Well, somebody else is under your name, shows up in this screen. I see your picture come up, and I don't see it now, but I wondered if you're connected. In any case, do that for me. Thank you. So let me go to the last question. I'm keeping Lorand up at night. Let me see. Sundar, you're saying to have one focus and one dream. How do some people run multiple companies? Each of those companies have a different dream, have a different vision, have a different purpose. have a different mission. You understand each of those companies is here for a different reason. So they're not one company. They're individual companies. And what do we say about individuals? You're born unique. The remarkable, beyond remarkable thing is that every single human being on the planet is an original. Think about that. You think about how many individuals named Carlos. There are Carlos, and yet there's only one of you. It's yours to make or break it. Lagos, Nigeria. I run a startup bakery here in Lagos. Is it Lagos? Is that how I pronounce it? Good. Thank you. We have a number of folks from Nigeria. Interestingly, and I understand Nigeria is a large country. I understand there are millions of people in Nigeria. And I understand there are many bakeries in Nigeria. And there's a great deal of competition in Nigeria. But I will guarantee you one thing. Yet me see. I will guarantee you one thing, that you're the only one baker in Radical U in Lagos, Nigeria. So that should give you some relief to understand that your bakery can become the only bakery that Nigeria has ever seen. To do what you do in the way that you do it, to touch the hearts and the minds of your customers in a way they never imagined they would be touched, by simply doing business with your bakery. That's what the opportunity is. Is it going to be hard? Yes, because Nigeria is hard. And I can't even imagine how hard Nigeria is. But here you go. So I run a startup bakery. Now I know something more about me see than I did before. And I can now see his name in type, in 3 sections of type, but I still don't have it right. And he knows that, but we're getting there. By the time we're done, I'll be able to rip your name off just like that. People will think I was born in Nigeria. I'm a she. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got it. Okay. Hello. Yeah, me, see, a she. Thank you. You see how distances alter everything. Our job is to eliminate distances. Our job is to eliminate distances. One heart, one mind, one soul, one God. To eliminate distances. And in the process of eliminating distances, to become closer. As we become closer, we become more intimate. As we become more intimate, we feel things we don't feel in a way that we've never felt them before. That's love. Simon, how do you access the training videos at Radical U? What do you mean, how do you access them? You sign up for Radical U, you're immediately into them. So Lorand is going to answer that question for me. Lorand, privately, it says, Lorand is going to answer that question for me. So simply, when you go to student, whatever it's called, ask that question, because it's obvious to me that you're not connected. Because if you're not literally seeing the videos, you're not connected. And if you're not connected, you're not doing the homework. If you're not doing the homework, what in the world are we talking about? You got me? Okay. What time is it, guys? My goodness, I've been talking on and on and on and on. So I love you all. I'm delighted to be with you this Thursday. I hope to be with you next Thursday. It's all in God's hands. And remember what I've said to you individually, Melissa, Anna, me, C, Robin, the traveling lady down the hall, just to stay awake. We don't know, of course, but we'll leave it at that. And Reg, I can't figure you out, but I will if you share something with me. And in order to share that something with me, you're going to have to write something to me. So I'm inviting you to write something to me that will enable me to share or figure you out. If you'll permit me to figure you out. You got it. And anybody here who wants to be figured out, if you'd simply write something to me, the connection will be made. And then, God willing, I'll figure you out. And as I figure you out, something miraculous will occur. You got it, Chris Beers? You're always smiling, you're always smiling, you're always smiling, you're always smiling. You're happy as a bird out of his cage. Only to understand, holy shit, now where do I go? That's what a bird out of his cage says. I say his, her, now what? So Marilyn Hubbard, why do I know your name? You're going to have to write me and tell me why I know your name, Marilyn Hubbard. I know your name. This old body of mine is now into forgetting. It's astonishing. My brother called me to wish me happy birthday, and I thought he was my son. And he kept on saying, no, it's Paul, Michael. And I couldn't get Paul. And I swear, it's because he woke me from a nap. And I will stick to that he woke me from a nap. So that's why. But in reality, it's just because I'm freaking getting old. And I literally forgot because we don't talk to each other. But we had the longest conversation, me with Paul, who I thought was my son, but is my brother, that I've ever had with him. Now think about that. He's 80. I'm 84. I had the longest telephone conversation with my brother I've ever had before. And we touched each other in a way we never had before. And it almost came because I didn't remember. Figure that one out. Not because I did, but because I didn't. We discovered something in our lives we'd never shared before. Holy moly, Carlos. I'm 84, he's 80. And he just went to dutifully call me, happy birthday, happy Father's Day, Michael. Blah, 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 blah. Who's this? Who is this? Sam, is that you? No, it's Paul, your brother. Sam? No, it's Paul, your brother, stupid. Should I call you back in 10 minutes? Yeah, call me back in 10 minutes. You get my point? Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to take just something for me to get you, but don't expect me to get who you think you are. Please hear this. Don't expect me to get who you think you are, because I'll get something you don't. And that, I promise you, is the blessing. I'll get something you don't. And in the process of that, you'll get something you never have. I promise you that. I'm making that promise in a way that I don't lightly make that promise. You got it? Yeah, me see. From Nigeria. Thank you. A delight. You know where I am. You know how to write. Don't be strangers. But don't become too familiar. See you next Thursday. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Lorand, are you still there?
I am still here, yes.
Hey, Lorand, you're going to have to explain to me how come they can't get video.
I'll check the ones that might have trouble getting in. I sent a note to ask them to contact us at Student Care, and we'll figure it out.
Oh, when I know you'll figure it out. Lorand, you figured everything out up to now?
Eventually, yes.
No clue how you figure it out. I want everyone to look at Lorand's face. I say this because every time I see Lorand's face, I'm moved by who I see. And I say that, and it's embarrassing to Lorand, but so
yes.
but so what? That brilliant face, and his heart shows through his face in just magical ways. He is a true believer in God, true believer in family, true believer in life, true believer in liberty, true believer in everything we're aiming to do. And he's committed himself to do that in ways you can't possibly imagine. He's our partner in Radical You. So now you know Lorand, now you can bother him.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, everyone.
Love you, everybody. Thank you.
Have a great night. Bye-bye.